90% of programmers make these 5 mistakes, and these are ruining your potential. Are you one of them? Come on, man. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to talk about 5 common mistakes every Python developer makes, whether they are a total beginner or they have been coding for 20 years. So let's get right into it and talk about the 5 mistakes so you don't make them and you improve your code by 1000%. Let's go. Let's face it, we've all been there. We are stuck on code and we open ChatGPT or Stack Overflow and copy it from there. But the mistake is we don't understand before copying and pasting. It's okay to copy, but it's very wrong to not understand it. Not understanding it can lead to hours of debugging after, which you can save by employing simple steps. Firstly, try to understand each line. If you don't understand, ask ChatGPT to explain it to you in simple terms. Secondly, use print statements to explain, or use comments or docstrings so you can understand it later when you open it. Moreover, you can also rewrite each line, which is the best way, because then you write it in simpler steps and in the way you understand instead of complicated ways ChatGPT or any AI gives you. Lastly, also rename variables to your liking so that it can also improve your understanding of the code. All these steps help you understand the code better, so if a mistake does occur, you can know where it occurs and you can fix it immediately instead of spending hours debugging the code and then finding it just to be a simple colon. Please save your future self by avoiding this practice. Writing messy and unreadable code saves you time right now, but makes your future self cry, whether you view it 1 week later or 10 years later. One-line chaos using ununderstandable variable names and not following pepid or writing comments or docstrings can really cause your code to become messy and unreadable and make you frustrated when you read it later, and trust me, you will. This code will work today, but your future self will scream, who wrote this garbage? And it was you. So please care for your future self and write clean code that you can actually understand. To write clean code, use these simple steps. First of all, follow pepid, which is the official Python enhancement proposal written by Python developers. Secondly, use meaningful variable names, and so you can actually understand what value this variable is storing. Moreover, use comments, docstrings, and things like these to explain hard parts of your code, so when you visit it later, you can know what each part of your code is doing. And lastly, break your long functions into smaller ones, and please avoid one-line chaos whenever you can. This one is the silent killer. Beginners do this to avoid mistakes as they probably don't know try except yet, while advanced devs do this because they are lazy. And both are just as dangerous and end up in debugging for hours. This causes the code to break, but it acts like nothing happened, which can cause huge errors, especially at a professional level. Instead, catch specific errors because it helps you know what went wrong and where it went wrong. And you can even use logging, but we'll talk about that later. So remember, always catch specific errors, and don't even do just this. Don't even just use except or accept exception. Always catch specific errors whenever you can. Every Python developer has written code that works but is highly inefficient. Python gives you tools to use them. This kind of code works but is incredibly slow, and it hurts an application's performance when data grows. Efficiency isn't about writing fancy algorithms or writing a huge amount of code, but it is about thinking smartly. Python gives you different tools, like using list comprehensions instead of this mess, and using different data structures, sets for lookups, dictionaries for mapping, and lists for storing data. Moreover, use built-in functions as they are written in C++, so the data execution is way faster. And lastly, think before you look. The first step to writing code is planning, because it saves a lot of time and can help you write efficient code. Mistake number 5 is using print statements for debugging. Print debugging may feel fast, but it clutters your code a lot. Print debugging is like using duct tape. It works temporarily, but makes a huge mess later. The fix? Use logging. Logging is faster, cleaner, and gives a more readable output. And it's also scalable, reusable, and professional. Moreover, it gives you a lot more control over the output levels. To recap, our 5 universal Python mistakes were copying and pasting without understanding, writing messy and ununderstandable code, third, ignoring error handling, fourth, forgetting about efficiency, and fifth, using print statements for debugging. We all slip up and make these mistakes, but once you learn about them and see them, you grow past them and you write code that is faster, cleaner, and smarter. So remember to always avoid these mistakes and apply the solutions we talked about in your code so that your code goes to a professional level. Smash that like button if you learned something new. Subscribe for more coding tutorials and Python tricks and tips, and comment which error do you make the most. This is TechSphere signing out. Bye bye.